Alright, today's new brand is not necessarily a new brand on the channel. In fact, I've spoken about them quite a bit in the past. I actually have a review of Papyrus Oud from Parle Moi De Parfum. And then I have a full review of Mile High as well from Parle Moi De Parfum. There's also a boutique tour that I've done in Paris of one of the boutiques of Parle Moi De Parfums. All on the channel. If you're curious to learn more about them, go check those videos out. But today I'm talking about 6 fragrances from Parle Moi De Parfum and what I think about them. And their latest fragrance, which is called Haute Provence, this one right here. And we're also going to tell you about a Instagram live that I'm doing tomorrow with Michel Almairac of Parle Moi De Parfum. And if you stay till the end of the video, you'll have a chance at winning a discovery set, one of 10 discovery sets from Parle Moi De Parfum for subscribers of this channel from USA and European Union. So if you're curious to learn about Parle Moi De Parfum, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, today I'm talking about Parle Moi De Parfum. I first discovered this house back in 2018? 2017, I can't remember now, sometime around then, and I've been following their fragrances, and I've got, as I said, several videos on the channel of the house, and I enjoy some of these fragrances a lot. In fact, I'm going to tell you what my favorite fragrance is out of the 6 I'm going to speak to you about today, and you're going to learn all about Haute Provence, Woody Perfecto, Milky Musk, Papyrus Oud, Chypre Mojo, and Mile High. So those are the fragrances I'm talking about today for you in this video. But before we get to that, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So yeah, I've been talking about this house on the channel. This is not a brand new house, but I just felt like I should do this video, not only because I have an Instagram live with Michel Almairac tomorrow, so if you guys are around and you're on Instagram, please join in. It's going to be at 11 a.m. San Francisco time tomorrow, 8 p.m. Paris time. So we're going to talk about the brand, all that good stuff. So please tune in if you're on Instagram so you can find out more about Parle Moi De Parfum. But also in general, just to let you guys know about the brand, and it's a great brand to check out. The fragrances are all sold at Lucky Scent here in the States. They're also sold on the Parle Moi De Parfum website. You can check them out and discover some of these fragrances that I think that are perfect. The perfumer behind all the fragrances for Parle Moi De Parfum is Michel Almairac. And if you don't know Michel Almairac, he's a very well-known perfumer. In fact, he's created fragrances for brands like Dior and Gucci and so on. So he is the sole perfumer of this house, and the person that owns the brand is Michel Almairac, the son of Michel Almairac. So stay tuned at the end and I'll tell you how to participate for the giveaway. We have 10 discovery sets to give away and they contain 6 different fragrances. Some of the ones I'm talking about today and some fragrances that I'm not talking about today. So let's get to the fragrances. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is their latest fragrance, Haute Provence, this one right here, which is actually a fruity fragrance. And this one is called Provence, Haute Provence after all, because Provence is known for lavender, and I love the smell of lavender. And here, the lavender goes into a different direction. I've never seen a fragrance with lavender that is, adding melons and watermelon. So this is kind of like a fruity fragrance with aromatic lavender. And lavender tends to go aromatic herbal, but there's also this sharpness to it. So it's a nice contrast to this fruity, melony, watermelony touch in the fragrance. So I imagine like lavender cultivated at the end of summer, and it's dry. At the end of summer it's usually dry, so you have these contrasts of this fragrance, the dryness, the sharpness of the lavender, the herbal aromatic qualities with the fruity, kind of not gooey but kind of wet, watery, fruity qualities of the watermelon and the melons in here. So there's some slight aquatic touches here, but I think it's a fun fragrance. It's actually very happy and uplifting, and I like that whole contrast with the notes of the aquatic touches that you get from watermelon and melons, and then also the aromatic touches. So the Narcissus comes in a little bit as well. There's also a slight smoky characteristic in here from the Narcissus, but for me, I mostly get, when I'm wearing this one, I mostly get the melons with the lavender, and I feel like the melons and watermelon kind of over dominates the lavender, but you do pick up a very, very big dose of lavender when you first spray it. So it's a lot about lavender when it first sprayed, and then the watermelon and the melons kind of take over, and they kind of have an equal balance of lavender and watermelon and melons. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Haute Provence. This one is the fragrance here. One thing I forgot to mention, the fragrances come in 2 sizes, 50 ml and 100 ml. The prices are $145 and $235. So those are all available, as I said, on the websites Lucky Scent and also Parle Moi De Parfum's website as well. And I have links in the info box. Anyway, moving on to the next fragrance. We're talking about Woody Perfecto, this one right here. So this is for the vetiver lover, and this one was recently featured. I did a video with Dahlia on the channel of newish vetiver fragrances that we were talking about, and this one was featured in that video. So this one is kind of a, you know, it's a vetiver that's not necessarily ultra rooty, earthy, kind of damp kind of a vetiver. There's a freshness about it, which I kind of like about this vetiver. It makes it easier for the, you know, the person that doesn't really like vetiver, because I hear from you guys, oh, I don't like vetiver because of this, and I don't like vetiver because of that, and most of the time I hear kind of like, oh, I guess some of you just don't like the fact that it goes into kind of like a slightly damp, mildewy kind of direction. It can go in that direction, but with this one, there's a major freshness about it, and I feel like it's a great all year round vetiver fragrance. Not a winter fragrance, not a summer fragrance, but a nice balance of it, because here it's very, very vetivery, but it's very, very fresh, and it's actually made fresh with a coffee note in here. So there's a major dose of coffee note in here, so it kind of gives it a very nice lift. There is a leather note in here, just to be warned, which actually adds more depth to the fragrance. But you know what, all those notes that come in, the darkness and with the leather and then the coffee in here, it just gives us a very, very nice balance of this very, very fresh but with depth kind of a vetiver fragrance. So that's my thoughts on Woody Perfecto. If you like vetiver, you should check it out. Again, it's not one of those very deep, dark, rooty, earthy vetivers. It's just like a great freshness, which makes it a lot easier to wear, even though it has that leather and things like that in this fragrance. So that's Woody Perfecto here. Now the next fragrance we're going to talk about is Milky Musk. Milky Musk is this one right here. Milky Musk is known for sandalwood, and I've talked a lot about sandalwood fragrances on the channel. They tend to go milky. There's a creamy, milky aspect or factor about fragrances with sandalwood, and those are the kind of sandalwood fragrances that I really love. I love that smooth, very, very silky, creamy kind of a quality that sandalwood has. Nothing like something like Santal 33, which kind of goes into that very kind of like cucumbery, chopped, crisp kind of sandalwood direction, which this is completely different. I like the idea of milky fragrances, lactonic fragrances, even though this is not necessarily lactonic, but it definitely has that very, very creamy, milky aspect that sandalwood fragrances do have. So in the end, it's a musky fragrance with the creamy sandalwood, and there's some slight light touches of kind of like fig, even like fig milk, because you know it's called Milky Musk, and the fig plants or fruit, when you pick them off, when you've ever looked at those, there's a light milkiness. So I feel like it's not necessarily giving us like green touches, because I don't pick up a lot of, you know, I love fig fragrances. I don't get like major green fig leafy kind of qualities, even fruity qualities, but I do get the milk. There's a little bit of a milkiness that comes in, and I feel like it's the fig milk that's coming in. That's how I interpret this fragrance. That's how I smell it. You might smell it completely different. Every nose is different, but I like this about it, this particular fragrance. Now, one thing I also want to mention why I like this one is because it's very cozy. It's a really, really cozy fragrance. It's musky, it's milky, it's woody. It's just very, very soft and you know, gentle on the skin. Like it's like it almost feels like you're hugged. It's a nice hug of this very, very milky, woody, creamy, musky fragrance that's really, really wonderful to wear. Perfect fragrance to wear in the fall and winter. I feel like it just feels like an extra layer of clothes on you, which I really, really do like. So that's Milky Musk from Parle Moi De Parfum. A great scent. Do check that one out. Now this next one is a fragrance that I reviewed on the channel. One of the very first videos I did of Parle Moi De Parfum on the channel was for Papyrus Oud, this one. So Papyrus Oud is a very, very smoky, woody experience. Lots of incense here, and I feel like it's resinous. I don't know if you've ever smelled actual frankincense. When you smell it, there's a smokiness about it, but there's also this gummy resinous quality about it. You experience that here. So it's a combination of the resins with the smoke together. But there's lots of oud here, and the papyrus. We've got to point that out because it is in the end called Papyrus Oud. It smells like papyrus, and papyrus, for me, has a very unique smell. It doesn't smell like patchouli, but kind of hints at patchouli, but doesn't have the sexiness of patchouli. It has this interesting combination of smells that could also be mistaken for something like vetiver, patchouli together with woods. Like, it just has this very, very interesting smell to it. So the papyrus in here is very, very prominent. You definitely pick it up. And once you figure out the smell, you can totally point it out in different fragrances. And this is basically the main note here. It's papyrus with oud, but incense is very, very prominent, and also the patchouli is also pretty standout here. But it's a dense fragrance. It's a very masculine fragrance. In fact, out of everything I've spoken about today, this is the most masculine so far, and probably will be the most masculine out of all the fragrances I'm going to talk to you about. It just has a very, very masculine touch. Very, very dark, very smoky, very incensey, very papyrus, of course, and lots of oud in this one. There are some light touches of musk and some spices and some sweeter touches, but for me, it's mostly those notes: papyrus, incense, patchouli, and oud. That's what runs the show with this one. It's dark, it's smoky, it's a beast. Anyway, that's Papyrus Oud from Parle Moi De Parfum. So the next one is a fragrance that I really, really love. It's so good, guys. It's not my favorite of the list. In fact, if you haven't noticed, I'm putting the list together with my least favorite to my most favorite, but that's the top 5. And Haute Provence, since it's so new, I left it as not an honorable mention, but one that's at the very end to let you know of the newest release. But this is my second favorite here. It's called Chypre Mojo, and this one was featured in my Chypre fragrances video recently, niche Chypre fragrances. So this one is a modern interpretation of a Chypre fragrance. So IFRA has regulated the usage of oak moss, so this fragrance doesn't have oak moss in it, but it's a fruity Chypre. It's mango, patchouli, bergamot, and carnation. And I've done a lot of videos on not patchouli, but I've done a lot of videos on patchouli, but also on Chypre as a style of fragrance. And patchouli was kind of being used as a substitute for creating a Chypre styling in a fragrance. And I think that's kind of why I like this fragrance, because the patchouli seems to be very, very standout. And with the contrast of the fruity mango note, I feel like it's definitely something that's very, very classy, slightly classic, slightly modern altogether, but a wonderful fragrance. Green, fruity. I think it's a great all-year-round fragrance for anyone to wear. If you like the idea of mango with patchouli, of course there's the citrusy bergamot that's in here as well, loads of it, because bergamot typically appears in the top notes for Chypre fragrances. So I think it's just a wonderful concoction. Never thought of mango with Chypre styling, but it really does work here. It's a wonderful fragrance, and it's my second favorite of the lot I'm talking to you about today. So that's Chypre Mojo. And my favorite fragrance from this house happens to be Mile High. I recently featured this in my fruity fragrances video, and in fact, out of all the fragrances, I've spoken about 3 fruity fragrances, but this one actually is just so good, guys. For me, this is a fruity fragrance to wear in the fall. It's really, really wonderful. And there's pineapple in here, and I've mentioned it's not Aventus. There's Immortelle in here, and Immortelle is that note that kind of smells like fall to me. For me, it smells dried. It's a weedy kind of a flower, and it has molasses, dark brown sugar, caramelized, caramelly kind of nuances. So it's a nice contrast with the fruity pineapple, and it smells fantastic. There's also some tonka beans in here, giving us some slight tobacco-ish qualities with patchouli. Oh man, it's very, very sexy. It's fruity, it's wonderful. I just love that Immortelle. It's just such a contrast. You totally can pick it out. Like, it smells wonderful on its own, and it kind of goes into a gourmand direction sometimes when you blend it with other notes, because, you know, it takes on those kind of like brown sugar caramelly nuances, and it just becomes a wonderful contrast with the juicy, beautiful pineapple note in here. The whole fragrance is wonderful. I love wearing it, and again, it's a fruity fragrance, but I feel like it's a wonderful fragrance to wear all year round. So that's my favorite of the lot here today, and again, all of them are wonderful. I'm just ranking them in a way that I have my most favorite with everyone else, and that happens to be Mile High. So these are all available at Lucky Scent if you are in the States, and as I said, and they are also available on the Parle Moi De Parfum website. Now on to the giveaway. We are doing 10 giveaway discovery sets, 5 from the USA for USA winners, 5 from Europe for European Union winners. Please let me know what you like about this house for participating in the giveaway. What you like about this house, and which fragrance that I spoke about today sounds the best to you. And then please put your country. If you are in the USA, please put your state. And of course, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you can qualify. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you are around tomorrow and you're on Instagram, please make sure to catch my Instagram live with Benjamin Almairac of Parle Moi De Parfum. We are doing the live in San Francisco time, 11 a.m., Paris time at 8 p.m. So I hope you guys can join to learn more about Parle Moi De Parfum. And other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today. Today's Labor Day. Hope everyone's enjoying and having a relaxing day. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Otherwise, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.